Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Keith with Craps TX. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up for us. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit that bell for notifications, that way you'll be notified when we put out another video. Videos normally drop on Mondays and Thursdays around 4 p.m. Central. I'll try to throw some shorts in here and there. We did have a casino trip recently. Didn't get any craps video footage, but I do have a little bit of slots played, and I'll kind of sprinkle those in here and there. I also have a slots channel, KnDFlips, if you'd like to check that out. I'm trying to get that revamped as well. And I know this is predominantly a craps channel here, but I'll throw in some of my slot play as well. So yeah, today we're going to do a continuation, I guess you could say, of Crappy the Crapsman. Right here, there is his banner. Crappy the Crapsman's Cold Table Strategy. Last video I did it at the $15 level. I said you could do it at any level. He said you could do it at any level because it's basically just units. You're playing 4 units per shooter. So we're going to do this one at the $25 level. I've got $500 set up here. 4 or 5 shooters, 4 chips a piece. So that's set out like that. So we'll get that set over there. We'll get this put in a rack for our 5 shooters. Shooter number 1 is going to be ready here in just a moment. So we'll put 1 on the don't pass, and then you have 3 set up in your rack. That's your rack. Just pretend that's your rack. I'm not playing odds or anything like that. In this strategy, you don't play odds. You could if you wanted. He hasn't tried it, I don't believe, but you can test it out if you'd like. But just another brief explanation of it. We start out on the don't pass, and this is a cold table strategy just to, let's say we started out with $1,500. Well, all of a sudden, you know, an hour later we're down to $500. Well, man, you got to stop the bleeding. You either got to walk away from the table, or if you wanted to hang around, you can play this cold table strategy. You know, if the table is just horrible, if you're getting a lot of quick 7s, you know, this will kind of help stop it and possibly build your bankroll back up a little bit, or at least buy you some time. So yeah, anyway, you start out with 1 on the don't pass. You'll make 2 come bets, and then your last bet, if you don't get knocked off, will be a don't come bet. So let's roll it out. That'll be easier to kind of do it as we go. There's some green dice for the green chips. We'll see if that works out for us. All right, let's get a point set. We are coming out. Dice are out. Excuse me one moment. I forgot to start my little clock just so I can keep track of what kind of time I'm using up here. There is a 6, 2, 8. Okay, so 8 will be our point. Not the best point number, but we'll work with it. Okay, so we travel up 1 to the come bet. And there is a 6, 2, 8. And right away, you'll see why that was not a good place for that to go. Point is hit, that'll go off. That'll move to the 8. Since we hit the point, we lose our don't pass. Okay, so we're now down to 3 units. Go right back up to the don't pass. If he doesn't play the pass line, it's always on the don't. Dice are out, and we have a 5, 4, 9. Again, not optimal, but we'll work with it. Alright, we have a come bet, a don't pass. Now we can either play the come or the don't come since we're down to 3 units. I saw him do it both ways. I'll do it both ways if I hit this scenario again, but what I'm going to do the first time around is go up to the DC and play it that way. And on this DC, if you wanted to hedge that, if you have like say 2 singles, you could place it on the yo, the 15 to 1. That way if the yo comes up or the 11 comes up, you're covered. You win 30 on that. You lose the 25. Or you know, you can play the E there. And I've tried it out that way. It works sometimes, it doesn't. Just like any other strategy. Alright, but we'll just go with it like it is. There is a 1, 3, 4. Okay, that's not a bad place for that to go. And then now we just have to roll it out because we're out of bullets and we've got chips on the board and we got to just keep rolling until we hit something. Best case scenario would be to hit that 8. A 7 wouldn't be horrible because we'd win there and we'd win there and we'd even out for the game. That was a 2x4 6, by the way. There's 3 craps. There is a 5, 2, 7. Okay, so you can see how this will end here. All right, the point goes, or the puck goes off. We lose that 8. We're going to win right there and we're going to win down there. So we evened out for that shooter. So shooter number 1, we'll put him away. And he didn't do us any help or any harm, so not too bad. All right, we'll get us another set of dice here. And no rhyme or reason, we'll just get those 2 there. Looking for a point coming out. And there is a 6, 1, 7. That's a frontline winner. That is a backline loser, so we're going to lose that. We'll travel one more back up there to the don't pass. And a 6-2-8. Again, another 8 as a point. Not optimal, but we'll play with it. Move one bet up to the come. And there's a 4-3-7. Okay, so that works out, honestly. Or actually, however you want to say it. Puck goes off. You get paid in the come because this is like the pass line. So that pays on the 7 and 11. And we'll get paid on the don't pass because the point was already set. And that is the way you win on the don't pass. So for that shooter, we ended up with 5 units. So we're a little bit in the positive right now, and we're buying a little bit of time. Not a whole lot, but we're buying a little time, and we're just kind of treading water, I guess you could say. I didn't switch out the dice, but that's okay. There is a 12 midnight, that is a push, so nothing happens there. No win, no loss, no point set. Here is our point, 2x4, 6. Right? Move one bet up to the come. And 2x4, 6. That's why you don't really like the 6 or 8 to be your point, but it happens. That'll travel to the 6. We'll lose the don't pass. We'll put one back up on the don't pass. And we're off. Looking to get another point. There is a 4-1-8. Alright, 5 will be our new point. We have a come bet, we have a don't. And like I said earlier, we'll try both scenarios. Last scenario we did it where we put that last one on the don't come. This one we'll go ahead and put it on the come since he says, you know, try to get 2 come bets. But he's played it both ways. There is a hard 8, or hard 4, I'm sorry. So that will travel to the 4. So we now have 2 come bets, a don't pass. Our best case scenarios is to hit 4 or the 6. But we will roll it out and see what happens. There is a hard 8, that doesn't help or hurt. There is a 9, doesn't help or hurt. And a 5-1-6. Okay, so that does help. That'll travel down, that'll get paid, and we're now back at 4 units, which is awesome. All right, we have a come bet, and yeah, he wants 2 come bet sets, so we'll just leave that one there and set that. Okay, that is a 4. That is also a good scenario. This would travel up, this will travel down and get paid. That is off and on. So there is one more unit, and we still have a come bet. All right, 6-2-8. That is a good place for the come bet to go. All right, so we have our 2 come bets. We now need a DC. All right, we have 4 units in play. We'll just kind of leave that one off to the side right now. We don't necessarily need it. And we have a 4-1-5. Okay, so that is not good. Good and not good, but anyway, that'll travel behind the 5. We do lose our point, or don't pass because we hit the point. Now we can move this one up if you wanted to play with your winnings, or you could just leave the 3 out there and roll it out. All right, so let's keep going. We're on the same shooter. There is a 5-3-8. 8 will be our new point. That is not horrible to start because that'll travel down. These are always working. That'll travel down and get paid. So we're up to 5 units again. And we have a don't come, a come bet, and then we need another come bet. Now with this, if you wanted, you could move it over to the don't come, which I think I'm going to do. And you'll see why. Hopefully it'll work out in our favor. 10, that's actually a really good place for that to go. All right, so we have 2 don'ts, we have a come bet, and we have a don't pass. So we only have 1 on the positive side, 3 on the dark side, and you know what number we're looking for. And there it is. It worked out perfectly. All right, so we lose that 4. We're going to get paid on the don't there. We're going to get paid on the don't there. And we're going to get paid on the don't pass there. So that shooter, we ended up with 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so shooter number 3 did us fairly well. We'll rack that and move on to shooter number 4. Again with the 4 units. Puck is off. That was a 7 out. Don't pass. And 3 in the rack. No more. Don't spend any more than 4 per shooter. Yes, you can play with the winnings on that shooter, but don't dig into your bankroll and play any more than 4 units per shooter, whatever level you're playing at. If you're playing at the purple chip level, you could honestly do that if you're that kind of big spender. You're still just going to play with 4 units. All right, dice out, looking for a point. 5-3-8. Again, always a horrible point for this strategy, but you work it out, you roll it out, and you see what the dice do. Well, they did okay for us in that one. All right, so that's a 0.7 out. You can see how some of the shooters are just your nemesis, or can be your nemesis, but we're going to win there. We're going to win there. They actually did good for us. Good thing to do when you're playing the don't side is not cheer too much. Don't draw attention to yourself. Just quietly collect your winnings. We're up to 6 units on that shooter. quietly collect your winnings and move on to the next shooter. Eventually, like I said, once you kind of build up your bankroll, you can go back to start playing, you know, whatever other strategy you want. 66 inside, you know, whatever light side strategy you wanted to play. All right, we're looking for a point. Dice are out. 4, 2, 6, 2 by 4, 6. Easy 6. 6 is our point. Again, not an optimal number. The popular numbers you don't really want as your point, but we'll work with it. All right, and there is Y. Okay, this will travel. There's a 2 by 4, 6 again. This will travel to the 6. We hit our point, but we lose our don't pass. All right, so we'll move 1 back up to the don't pass. Looking for a new point, same shooter. 5, 4, 9. 9 is the new point. We have a combat there. We have a don't there. Again, we can go don't or combat on that. We'll go don't and see if we can survive that. All right, there's a 3, 2, 5. Okay, so that'll go there. We're now exhausted of any units. We're down to 3 units, but we got to roll it out. We don't have any more. You don't dig into any of this. Just roll it out and see what it does. There is a 2 by 4, 6. All right, so that helps us out. That travels down, get paid, and we're back up to 4 units. Okay, so we need another combat. We'll leave that in the come, and that goes that's going to go right back to the 6. And don't come. Okay, we can go with it again, another combat or to the DC. Let's go with the combat. We'll just play it the opposite way that we did the last time and see what happens. There is a hard 6, so it actually works out in our favor. That will travel up, that'll travel down, get paid, and we're up to 5 units. All right, leave that in the come. There is a 6, 5, yo. Again, that works out for us. That gets paid on the 7 and 11, just like the pass line, and we're up to 6 units. Excuse me. There is another 6. Again, that does not suck. Good thing I chose the combat, right? That travels down, that travels up, gets paid, and we're up to 7 units. And we have 6 to 8. Okay, so that is going to go up to the 8. We now have 4 units in play. We can leave it as is. There is a couple instances where he played another don't on that and had 5 units in play. I'm just going to leave it at the 4 and roll it out since we're kind of in profit. Well, we are in profit. There is a 5, 2, 7. Okay, so we lose here, win there, and we're done for that shooter. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you can see those. So 7 units for that shooter, plus 3 if you want to say it that way. And there we are. Let's just see where we stand. We're only at 10 minutes or 11 minutes on the video, so let's see where we're at. 4. I'm horrible at doing that whole stacking thing, but we'll give it a whirl. See? Okay, there's 1. Stop it. And that's not 1, that was actually 400. 1, 2, 3, 400, 500, 600, 700, and a quarter. So 7 and a quarter. We started off with 500, so we made 225. At that point, you can decide whether to go on. Like I say, if you want to double it, maybe, or if you just want to, you know, cash in your green for some reds and get back to playing a certain strategy. However you want to do it. You know, we'll go. Since we got a little more time, we'll go ahead and do another couple of shooters. That was 5 shooters. Here is 6. So we got 1 on the don't and 3 in our rack, ready to go. We did 7 out on that last one, so that goes off. And we're looking for a point. 6, 3, 9. We'll see if we get any other kind of scenarios to play out, just to kind of see if we can cover a few more bases. So that one, we have a come bet. That one went up to the come. Hopefully you kind of understand that by now. First 2 bets are always a come bet. That goes up to the 8 on the last one. We have a 6, 3, 9. All right, so it's going to travel to the 9. Point is hit. What happens? We lose our don't pass whenever we hit the point. So we'll move that one up to the don't since we have 2 come bets. Puck is off, so we can play the don't again. And we have a 6, 2, 8. Okay, so 8 is our point. These are always working, so that actually works out for us. That'll come down to the come, get paid, and we're up to 4 units again. We'll leave that there so we can get our second come bet placed. And that's going to go right back to the 8. And that is our point. So that is also going to take that right back away. All right, we'll move this one back up to the don't. And what are we on? Shooter number 6, I believe, right? So there's a hard 8. 8 is our new point. Again, working out the same way as it did the last time. Deja vu all over again. Travel down to the come, that'll get paid. And we are off and running. What's going to happen now? 6, 3, 9. All right, so that's a little bit better scenario. That'll travel down, that'll travel up. When the one that goes down gets paid, that's an off and on. There is another unit. All right, 4, 3, 7 out. Okay, so that is a decent scenario. We lose the 9. We do win on the come bet there. We win on the don't pass, and we are at 6 units for that shooter. All right, so we'll put that away, and we still have time, I think. I could make a short video, but yeah, we're at what, 13, 14 minutes, something like that. We'll go ahead and do another shooter. Shooter number 7, I believe. Correct me if I am wrong, but I believe we're on shooter number 7. Nice, we're out. We're looking for a point. 4, 2, 6. Not the optimal point, but as I've said many times before, we'll take it and work with it. Next bet goes up to the come. 4, 3, 7. Okay, so that one works out actually. 0.7 out. But again, cheer to yourself inside. Do not cheer out loud. You're now up to 6 units, so you're a +2 on that shooter. All right, we'll leave 4 out there and go on to shooter number 8. Again, you can be the shooter. I mean, you're playing the don't, so you can be the shooter. You're going to probably draw a little attention to yourself. Hey, why is that guy playing the don't? Well, because they're my chips, and I can do with them what I want. I still want the table to win, but at the same time, I'm trying to CYA. CMA. Figure out what that means. All right, 4 is the new point. First bet travels up to the come. And that is a hard 4. No bueno. we get an optimal number for the point, and then we get hit right away. Okay, so that goes there. We lose our don't, and we travel the next one up to the don't to start the next shooter, or next roll, same shooter. There is a 5, 1, 6. 6 will be our new point. Okay, we have a come bet, we have a don't, and that's the scenario where we can go either way. We did fairly well going on the come bet last time, so let's do that again. There is a 6, 1, 7. Okay, so it worked out. Not really, but kinda. So we lose the 4. We win right there because that's like the pass line, and we win on the don't pass because the point was already set. So we're even for that shooter. I believe that was number 8. Let's go to number 9. We might get 10 shooters in. Still at a relatively low time on the video. No good number to pick, so we'll just take that 2x4 there. That is off. Looking for a point. 5, 2, 7. That is not good. We're going to lose that don't pass and set up the next one. 1, 3, 4. All right, so 4 will be our point. Excuse me. And we'll move 1 up to the come. Trying to get 2 come bets set. There is a 6, 3, 9, and same scenario. We could either go don't or come at this point, so we'll go there again because it did work out for us once before, and it'll work out a little bit again there. There's a 4, 3, 7. We lose the 9, we win there, and we win on the don't. So those even out once again. They wash, but you're buying some time. You're buying some time. I believe we're on shooter 9. Not positive, but we'll stop at 10. So we'll go 2 more. This will be this shooter and 1 more. So the puck is off. Our point is 6. All right, we're going to move that up to the come. That is a 2x4 6, in case you can't see that. The camera angles can be kind of weird sometimes. 5, 4, 9. All right, so that'll travel to the 9. 1 more come bet. And a 1, 4, 5. Okay, so that'll travel over there. We got our 5 and 9s covered on the come bets, and we're going through the don't. Nice out. 1, 3, 4. All right, so we are all over the place, but we have all 4 chips in play. All right, our optimal scenarios are hitting the 5 and 9 a few times. There is an 8. That does not help us. Big hole right there. And a 3 craps. No help. 6, 2, 8. Again, no help. 6, 3, 9. There we go. That helps us out a little bit. That'll travel down to the come. That will get paid. We're now up to 5 units, and we will set that second come bet. We can move it to the DC if we want it. Probably should have, because there's the 2 craps. We're going to lose on that one. So as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and move that 4th chip and last chip up to the DC. Don't necessarily have to have the 2 come bets, but in the beginning he likes to start out with the 2 come bets. Once you get into the roll a little bit, you can kind of audible and change it up the way you want. All right, so that is going to travel to the DC behind the 9. We now have 4 units in play, and you know what number we're looking for. And it's that number right there, so that works out. All right, 7. We're going to lose the 5 here. We're going to win on that DC, we're going to win on that DC, and we're going to win on that don't pass. So that is 6 units for that shooter, plus 2. That was shooter number 9, I do believe, so we'll go with shooter number 10, and we will stop after this one. Get a good round number to stop. All right, we'll play that 5, 3, 8. Puck was off, by the way. That was a 7 out. And shooter number 10, looking for a point. There's a 6, 5, yo. That's no good, 10. That's not the way to start things out. We do lose on the 11 on the don't pass. Right back on the don't. And a 6, 1, 7. And just to show what numbers we lose on the 11 and we lose on the 7. So there are our first 2 taken down and taken away from us. So we're still going to play the don't. We have a 6, 2, 8. Again, one of the worst numbers to hit as a point, but we'll take it. And we'll put that last chip on the come. And we have 4, 2, 6. Okay, so our optimal number is a 6. We want a 6. Can we get it? No, we cannot. All right, point hit, puck goes off. We lose that. Same shooter, we're just left with that 6, so we got to roll it out. Or actually, you have to pass it on. I mean, if you were the shooter, you'd have to pass it on because you don't have a don't or a pass to set up as the shooter. If you're not the shooter, it's no big deal. You just leave your chip out there and play it out. 5, 3, that's an 8. That's our point. We have a 1, 4, 5. We really need a 6. A 6 would help. Not 2 6s. That's boxcars. Midnight. We need just a single 6. There you go. Midnight back to back. That doesn't happen very often. There's a 1, 3, 4. All right. Shooter number 10 is just going to make us sweat it out here. There is a 1, 2, 3 craps, ace deuce, and a hard 4. Okay, let's find everything except for the 2 most popular numbers besides that number right there, 5, 2, 7. So you can see you can completely lose all of your chips on the shooter, and we did on shooter number 10. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that showed up and that happened that way, because we were kind of hitting a few, and you know, just wanted to show you that there is a bad scenario as well, and that was it. So that is it. That's 10 shooters. Let's see what we have here. There it is. I'm just going to stack them that way. It's a lot easier for me to do since I'm not a dealer and don't know how to do the whole stack and slide thing. So it looks like we're still decently in the positive. We start out with 500. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 75. So we are up to 75. Again, right now you could walk away, you're up. I mean, you may be down from where you originally started if you started with 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000. But you got down to 500, you wanted to kind of stop the bleeding a little bit. This helps you do that. You could walk away with just a little bit of a build up there, and then lick your wounds, come back and try to start all over again. Or you could continue to play, stay at the table for another hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. You might get this 725 up to 1,000 and be back where you started if that's where you started. So how the different ways that these can play out is just run it. If you have a table at home, or if you have a piece of paper and a cardboard box and some pennies, play it like that. Just work it out at home. See how it works out for you. If you got a little table, do the same thing. Just try this situation out. But check out Crappy the Craps Man. That's his channel right there. There's his banner. I always forget to put the links down below, but I'll try to remember to put the link down below to his channel. Several different cold table strategies. He's got several different light size strategies as well. Excuse me. But yeah, so check his channel out. If you got any comments, questions, anything like that, you can please put them down below. If you'd rather email, there's our email, crapstx@gmail.com. I do respond to all of them for now. We're still at a low, well, relatively low. For us, it's incredibly high. We're somewhere around 350. I don't know what it's going to be at the time that this video airs, but yeah, we appreciate it, man. That's way more subs than we thought we'd be at. and you guys are watching the videos. A lot of you are watching the videos and not subscribing. That's fine. But if you could at least do something for us, you could hit that thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you haven't, and then hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when we put out the next video. All right, so we do appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is Keith with KnDFlips. We'll see you on the next one.